Hey there, girlfriend. Ingafay here. Super excited to be here with you today. Wanted to share another coaching girlfriend with you, Nikki Bradley. She is a brand strategist and authentic messaging expert who specializes to help coaches, consultants, and service-based business have an authentic as well as audacious personal brand. Super excited to share her with you today, and we will see you inside. What's up, Nikki girl?
Hey, how you doing?
I am doing great. We are so excited to have you here with us today. But before we begin, we wanted to get the 411 in with you, girl. We want to get it all in your business. So tell us a little bit about you, who you are, who you serve, and how you serve them.
Sure. I'm Nikki, and I am an authentic branding and messaging strategist. And I work primarily with women entrepreneurs to help them to add 6 figures to their business or their next 6 figures by owning their dopeness, especially in their messaging. So most of the women that I work with have been hiding in some way, whether it's hiding from being out in the spotlight, hiding behind the business, or just hiding from their full power. And so I help them to tap into that. And I say I help you to show up as the biggest, baddest, dopest version of yourself so you can have more impact and wealth and build legacy with your business.
So that is awesome, girl. So how long you been doing this? This just sounds so, I don't know, like you said, dopeness. I love the way you said that. How long have you been helping female entrepreneurs do this?
I started the business in 2015, so this is year 8 now.
Awesome.
And when I first started, thinking back now, I'm like, it looked nothing then like what it looks like now. In the beginning, I was just like, I'll just serve anybody. You know, I come from a management consulting background, and then I ran marketing and sales teams and all of that. And so I was like, well, if somebody brings me something that I know how to do, I'll just take them on as a client, because I just wanted to get clients in the beginning.
Right.
And I was definitely undercharging. I was just like, oh, just whatever you think you should pay me.
Wow.
I quickly learned that is not how to do this. And so it has definitely shifted over the years, where now, you know, the personal brand and the messaging is my focus.
So it sounds like you come from a business background. Did you have any kind of communication or journalism training that helped you come up with what you do now?
No, I was in school. I went to Howard University, go
Awesome.
Bison.
Yeah.
And I was an international business and marketing major. And I've just always been very interested in our words and how we communicate. My mother is a speech pathologist by trade.
Okay.
And so growing up, everything was about what to say and how to say it. Like I remember she had songs that she would use to teach her students, and she would bring those songs home to teach us how to speak and what to say. And one of my favorites is she had a rap that was for learning your WH words, the question words, like who, what, why, when. And
oh, wow. Okay.
how. Yeah. So I won't sing the whole thing, but it basically started like, WH words are good to know if you know which ones to use. Asking questions can be fun. Just listen, I'll rap the rules.
Oh, cool. Okay. All right.
So I've always kind of had that in my background, and it just carried over into my career.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. Awesome. So just in your experience with working with female entrepreneurs, what is the biggest challenge that they have when it comes to being bigger and authentically being themselves online, and how do they overcome it?
It's funny. I just had this conversation with 2 different women business owners yesterday, and both of them said that they were afraid of judgment by whether, and one of them said that it was the fear of judgment of, she said, I wish if I could just, post online and to strangers, then I would be good, because it's the people who know me that I'm worried about what they're going to say. The other person that I
Wow.
talked
Okay.
to said the exact opposite. She said, if I could just, I don't want everybody all in my business. I don't want people I don't know all up in my business. So if I could just post to, my family and friends, then it would be cool. But she was worried about people she didn't know judging her. And the other person was worried about people that she did know judging her.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I think the thing that helps us to overcome that is, number one, I was telling the one who said she didn't want other people in her business. I told her, I said, they're not worried about you. Like, we think we're way more important than we are. And so, we're always thinking, okay, well, all these people are going to see what I'm doing and they're going to judge me for that. Well, everybody's worried about their own lives and their own problems.
Yep.
And if you say something that speaks to their problems, then they'll pay attention. But if you're not, then they won't pay attention. So why are you worried about what they think?
Right.
And the same thing with the other person. I told her that it doesn't matter what your friends and family have to say. It doesn't matter what anybody has to say.
Right.
If you know that you're operating in your power, or like I say, your dopeness, and you're doing, for me, I'm a God girl. So I'm like, if I know I'm doing what I'm called to do, I don't worry about what everybody else is saying, because that's not my business.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't agree. I would agree. Totally agree. So why is it important to teach people how to personally brand themselves then?
It's important because, first of all, we all have a brand, whether we know it or not.
Right.
Because I say your brand is like, it's your rep, it's your street cred. It's, Jeff Bezos said that it's what people say about you when you're not in the room. So everybody has that.
Right.
It's just whether or not someone else is creating it on your behalf, creating the narrative around it on your behalf, or you decide to take control of it yourself. So I think everybody needs it, whether you have a business, whether you are you're working for somebody else and you're in your career that way. Even if you're working for somebody else, you still have to build a personal brand, because when you think about how you get promotions, how you get opportunities, that's based off of what are people saying about you in other rooms that you're not in.
Right. Yes. I work with a lot of folks that are in home-based businesses. So they're an affiliate of some kind. You may call them a consultant or rep, or just flat out an affiliate. And a lot of the times I've noticed that people in these industries, they have a tendency to say that I'm XYZ rep or I'm XYZ consultant. So when people see them, they identify them as that person. But as you just said, people buy from who they know, like, and trust. And if you haven't built that brand to be you first, and then who happens to sell XYZ product or service, then they're not going to relate to you as XYZ consultant. They're going to relate to you more as you being a person, you being Nikki, me being Inga. Yes. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I always say that in your marketing, you show up as a person who just happens to have a business.
Right.
Because like you said, people buy from people they know, like, and trust. And the other thing about having a personal brand is that we shift and evolve throughout our lives. And so right now, people might know you as the Mary Kay lady, or the, whatever business you have. But what if you decide that you want to do something different?
Right.
5-10 years from now? Is that all you want people to know you as? So you have to build a brand and talk about who you are to the core. Right. For people to be like, I don't care what she's selling, I don't care what she's doing, but I'm buying what she's selling because she's my people. Right.
I would totally agree. So what would be the best 3 tips that you could give somebody that wanted to build their personal brand?
The first thing is decide, like, what is it that you want to be known for?
Right.
Do you want to be known as the product X lady or man?
Right.
Or do you want to be known for something else? And what is that? Because that's going to be your calling card, regardless of what it is that you're selling, regardless of what your business looks like. So definitely get clear on what that is first. And then the second thing is get clear on the problem that you solve for people. A lot of times we focus on what is the service, what is the product that we offer for people. And that's what people revolve their whole marketing around, is trying to sell the thing.
Right.
But if you're clear on what the problem is that you solve for people, what is the thing that, keeps them up at night, that you're like, oh, I got that, let me help you with that.
Right.
That's what people want to hear. They want to hear that you understand what it is that they're struggling with, because they assume that if you understand it to the highest degree, then you also probably have the solution that they need.
Exactly.
And the third thing that I would say is also be clear about what sets you apart. And for me, I call it your dope superpower. So my daughter's like, Mom, you use that word all the time. Can you find another word? But I just
that's your word, right?
It's my word, right? So your dope superpower is basically, it's made up of four different things. One is your innate gifting. It's the thing that you were born with, like Michael Jackson. I mean, not Michael Jackson. I was going to say Michael Jordan. You give him a ball. I just watched Air, so Michael Jordan is on the brain right now.
Right.
But you give him a ball. It doesn't matter what ball it is. He's going to score. What is that thing for you? The second thing is your passion. What are you passionate about? And it's not just about like the thing that you get excited about. It's also the thing that you're curious about. And you have been, when you look back at your life, it's that thing that, if there's a book about it, you want to read it. If everybody's having a conversation, you want to be a part of the conversation. You might take extra classes for it. Right. What is that thing that you are passionate about? The third thing is your blind spot. Mm-hmm. So we all have one or multiple ones. But it's that thing that other people are always like, you don't know you do this? Like, you don't know you're freaking amazing at this? And you're like, what? Like, that's nothing. We always downplay that. Right. But it's normally the thing that will make you the most money. Mm. And the last thing is your experiences. So it's all the places you've been, the people you've met that shape the lens through which you view the world. Right. And how you will deliver what you do differently than anybody else, because you'll talk about it differently. You'll create experiences for people that are different based on all of your experiences. Right. And so when you put all four of those things together, there's nobody on the planet that does it like you do it.
Yes, I love it. So go over that with us again. So we had to know you got to know what struggle or woe that you're able to solve. You got to know your superpower sets you apart. And I don't remember the first one.
The first one is, what do you want to be known for? What do you want people to know?
What do you want to be known for? Awesome. Mm-hmm. Awesome. So with all of that said, so we got those three things. We got that going on, girlfriend. So now how do we manage showing up on social media without it taking over our lives, and using these three things to really market what we do?
Yeah. First thing, and I just did a reel about this. I find that so many people will try to be in all the places. Mm-hmm. They'll try to be on all of the platforms, and you get burnt out that way. Yep. Because each one has its own nuances, its own algorithm, and you have to learn it. You have to, double down on where you have the most eyeballs. Right. So that's the first thing. But also, sometimes you just have to get on there and, like I was saying earlier, not worry about what other people think about you. And that's easier said than done. Yeah. But I'm a big fan of your life is your content. So whatever you are experiencing in your life, like, share that and think about, like, how does that relate to the problem that I solve? How does that relate to my ideal client? How can I share this in a story or in a way that people will resonate with, that positions me as the expert? Yep. And that shows me as a real person. Yep. And then post it and run. If you're worried about what other people are going to think about you, post it and run. Don't look at it. Don't look at how many likes did I get? Did I get any comments? Which troll is on my page now? Like, don't worry about any of that stuff. Just post it and run. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Post and run. Yes. That is so good. That's so good. So I know you said something about it's not really good to be on all of them, to really determine which social media platform that you have the most following, or probably really the most engagement, and go from there. Mm-hmm. So do you have, if somebody is just starting out, they may not necessarily have a happy place yet.
Yeah.
So do you have any recommendations on where they should start based on your experience with working with your clients? I was just curious.
Yeah. So most of us are on some social media platform. And I think one of the things that I've been hearing a lot is, I got this question last night when I did a live video, and somebody was asking, where should I be showing up on social media? Should I be on my personal page or on my business page?
Yep.
And the answer to that is it depends on the platform. So that's why I always say, first, look at where do you have the most eyeballs? Where do you have the most friends, the most followers? Because that's where I would say double down on your marketing efforts. For me, my main platform is Facebook. I'm on Facebook, and my daughter's like, "Oh God, Mom, that's the old people's place to hang out." I'm like, mind your business. But for me, I have a business page, and I used to utilize it a lot more, but most of my eyeballs are on my personal page. And so, because I've built up, friends over the course of, my life, and since Mark Zuckerberg created this thing for us. And so we have this free opportunity to be on social media, and I want to go wherever I can get the most bang for my free bucks. Right. So that's where I choose to hang out. And if you are following the methodology of just being a human who happens to have a business, you can do that whether you're on a personal or a business page.
Yeah. Okay. So it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you are more interested in organic traffic. And the reason I say that is because you just said on your personal page, because you can't run ads on your personal page.
Right.
You would have to run ads on your business page. Talk a little bit about that with us.
Yeah.
You decide if you're going to do organic or paid.
Yeah. So I mentioned before that I do still have business page for Facebook. I also have a business page on Instagram, but I spend most of my time on my personal page. When I think about my business page, especially on Facebook, as like an extension of my website. So if there's stuff that I want to put out there that I may not necessarily want to update my website with, but it's information that I want people to know, so that if they are looking me up and they're like, okay, well, what is her business about? They can go there, and it's a digital footprint of like what's going on in my business. And I use platforms like StreamYard, whatever platform you want to use if you decide to do live videos or things like that, where you can stream to multiple places at one time. Because I like to find the easiest way to get the most done.
Oh yeah. Most bang for your buck.
Yeah, I go live one time, and I'm able to put it in multiple places, and I'm not touching it. I don't have to do anything else.
Right.
So I have this digital footprint on my business pages of me creating that content, so that when I do decide to use ads, I have that I can pull from. Right. But I do believe that for most businesses, organic is how to get started. The mistake that I find a lot of people making is that they jump into ads way too soon. Yep. And for ads, if you're not clear on your messaging and you're not sure that it converts well, so that if I say this, people are absolutely going to respond, you're just wasting your money on ads. So that's why I think getting really good at the organic marketing until you get to a point where your messaging works, it doesn't make sense to get into paid.
Awesome. Yes. I totally agree, because I've been there, done that. I call it paying and praying. You pay and you pray that it works.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's people have different school of thoughts, because I know in a mastermind that I was in, and that's what they recommended me to do. And because they say you get results faster that way, because you get more eyeballs on it. But like you said, if it's not the right messaging, no matter how many eyeballs are on it, it's not going to work.
No, so you're going to have a lot of people seeing stuff that they're like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so this has been great, girl. You have given us some awesome information. So I wanted to ask you we're going to wrap this thing up and just ask you, if you were talking to somebody that was basically just starting out on their business as a solopreneur, that they're literally doing everything. what would you recommend they do first when it came to their personal branding?
I think it goes back to what I was saying earlier. You've got to decide what you want to be known for, and then be committed to showing up enough that people will begin to connect your name with that thing. A lot of times we'll go hard in the paint for a while.
Oh yeah.
And then we get burnt out and we disappear. Yeah. That was actually what my live stream was about last night, was about posting and ghosting. So, you go hard for a while, or you're doing your marketing and then you're not seeing the results that you want. Right. You're not seeing the engagement. You're not, getting the likes that you feel like you should be getting. Right. And then you get discouraged and you just stop, or you go away for a while, or you take a break. And when you do that, every time you decide to come back, and now you're trying to get people to know you for the thing again, or start buying your thing again, then it's like starting all over again. And you have to rev the engine and get it going again. So that would be the biggest thing that I would say, is decide what you want to be known for, and then commit to showing the heck up until you become synonymous with that thing.
Awesome. That is some great advice. Great advice. So I know that you have a freebie that you had told me about earlier. Tell us a little bit about that. I'm going to put the website up so everybody can see it and we can go from there.
Yeah. So I have a free Facebook group. I told you guys that's where I like to hang out. And in that group, it is for women entrepreneurs who want to get more visible, want to learn more about their messaging, and just make connections with other women who are trying to build their business as well and their brand. Mm-hmm. And so I teach there. I mentioned before that my mom was a speech pathologist. Most of my family members are entrepreneurs or educators. And so this is my place where I get to do some teaching. I get to just build community there for people who are, maybe regardless of what stage you're in your business, and you just want to learn more about, like, okay, how do I brand myself? How do I do my messaging? And then also, it's a great place. I have lots of opportunities where you can talk about what you do and get visible, so you can get practice in this safe space.
Awesome. So you guys, you got to go over there and check it out. That's the link right there. We'll also have it in the description, so don't worry about trying to type everything out. If the link is in the description, you can just click and go. But Nikki, thank you so much. We so enjoyed you today, girl. You gave us some golden nuggets. I hope folks took notes like me. And for those of you that are watching, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. And if you have anyone you would love for me to interview, just send me a DM. And as always, bye for now. See you on the other side.